talking about the 4 stages, the first being destructive, the second being useless, the third being useful, and the fourth being wu-wei. And the theory is, although I'm sure there are exceptions, that each one builds on the other, and that it may be impossible or nearly impossible to get to wu-wei until you first feel useful and let go of the need to feel useful. Because if you feel destructive or useless, you're just not aligned enough with the wu-wei. Wu-wei is hard to define, but typically it's defined as doing without doing, handing it over, surrender, admitting it's unmanageable, but doing the work anyway, not being attached to the fruits of your labor. Now, one may come to a point in their life, and it could be very early, or it could be later in life, where they just don't feel like people are there for them. They just don't feel they can rely on anybody. They may feel people are self-interested, or the only way to get them to be not self-interested is to somehow involve money or some other exchange so that the person can then be interested in you because they've already been compensated or somehow provided for. And it can be a very destructive thought to, whether it's true or not, it can be a very destructive thought to believe that there's nobody there for you. There's nobody who truly loves you unconditionally, that is truly willing to put up with your limitations, your moods, your complaints, your chaos, your anger, your shame, your guilt, your fear, your rejection. There are limits, and some people will try to test those limits by misbehaving. And some people will try to overemphasize their obedience and devotion and deny their own needs to keep that person around. Anyway, that's all the destructive pattern. So useless is where you may come up with a philosophy. And one philosophy could be, well, at least my suspicions were warranted. I always was suspecting that people weren't there for me and thought I was a little paranoid and crazy, but now I know. This proves that I'm right. People really aren't there for me. So at least I get to be right. Another one that's pretty useless is, well, they'll come to my funeral and then they'll see what they missed, or I'll cut off contact and then they'll beg me to come back. These are ultimately useless. The mind's coming up with it to try to defend you. And the ego loves this idea of, yes, there's something I must attain, and if I attain it, then I'll be happy. Meanwhile, the ego knows, most likely, if it's tapped in at all, that it's never going to be satisfied. It's not designed to be satisfied. It's designed to keep pushing, keep trying to figure it out, keep trying to get the positive gaze from somebody. Keep trying to find comfort in the body and in the environment. Keep trying to get answers. And so the wu-wei level is just to have compassion for it, to drop the image of and the concepts of some kind of religious or spiritual framework. They are useful, but you let them go and you'd be like, there's just pain at feeling so alone. And not in order to get rid of the pain, not in order to judge the pain, to fully feel the pain. And see that it doesn't kill you to feel the pain of loneliness and that there's nobody there, that you're all alone. If someone comes, it's fine. But to be okay without that person, that is perhaps why we're here.